Stackingsurfer here, your favorite YouTube stacker, back with another awesome video. Today we're going to talk about gold 102. All right, so if you haven't seen the first video after this one's done, please click on the link and go watch the first one. I think you'll enjoy it. So today we're going to cover off on buying gold. How's the best way to buy gold? When's the best time to buy gold? Which kind of gold is the best to buy? So let's get down to business. Hit it. Stackingsurfer. I think I'm your best friend. Balances in your bank and stack. All right, so now that you have established that is a good time to buy, and you've also established a few places that you have interest in buying from, the next thing I recommend doing is taking your budget that you've already established. Okay, we talked about that in Gold 101. Take that budget and start thinking about how you want to buy the gold. Okay, so for some of you that might be you're going to buy an ounce and you're going to buy it all at once. For others of you, you may be looking at a little lower budget and wanting to buy fractional gold, half, quarter, tenth of an ounce, maybe even down to grams. And so you're now starting to understand what you want to do for that. So now that you see the pattern, you can start spreading that out a little bit. If you have the money now and it looks like it's a good time to buy, I wouldn't hesitate too much. I would just buy it. On the other hand, if you have a little bit of money now, but you're going to get more money in 2 weeks and a little bit more money in 2 weeks and you're going off your paychecks, then I would definitely look at two strategies. One is to spread it out and buy every 2 weeks, and you're going to be buying more fractional gold for the most part. And that's okay to do. And you're still waiting and watching those patterns. So you may end up spending a little bit less this week and a little bit more in 2 weeks. But in 4 weeks, it could be lower again. And that's okay. You're dollar cost averaging. You're trying to get it to a better price on average. Sometimes you're going to pay more, sometimes you're going to pay less than you had previously. Now, if you're going to just buy an ounce or a half ounce, a larger denomination coin, and or round, but for gold, guys, I would stick with coins. I don't buy any rounds. I don't like the bars. Bars are kind of equivalent to rounds when you're looking at gold. It is a lot cheaper, but you're going to be well under spot price most likely when you sell it. I'd rather get something that's a little bit more recognizable. But hey, if you're going for prepper stacking and you just want the cheapest thing, definitely look at bars. It could be good for you. It's just not my thing. So as you're doing that with dollar cost averaging, if you're buying on a monthly basis, let's say, instead of on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis, it becomes even more important to look at those charts and understand if you're at the top or not. And it can be tricky because you may think that you are close to a top and you wait a couple weeks and it goes up higher and you realize you're not at the top. So you got to be careful with that, but know that we're all learning from this process, and as long as you're not buying right after it jumps 3 or 5%, and you've looked at the charts, you're probably okay. All right, but do take a look at that. I do think that's something that's helpful. So for any of you that are seasoned stackers on here, I'd love to hear comments from you down below on how you do this, and if you've got any tips for us, love to hear those too. And for those of you that are learning more about this, come to my live streams. Right now they're not super consistent on which day they're being held, but I'm trying to get a live stream a week out. And on those live streams, you can ask questions, and we'll answer your questions, and there'll be a community there to help you too. All right, so now that you've established it's a good time to buy, you've got places to buy, and you know how much you want to buy. Now you got to take the leap of faith, and you just got to make the purchase. All right. So what I'll tell you about that is it can freak you out the first couple times you're buying gold. You're spending quite a bit of money on something, and you're not exactly sure when you're going to sell it, how you're going to sell it, or any of that. So that's the next thing we're going to talk about is, even though we're focused on buying here, you need to have an exit strategy when you buy. It's important to know that. If you're buying gold and you need to sell it in the next 6 months, I think you need to rethink buying that right now, or maybe buying less of it. I really think you should be planning for a 3 to 5 year time horizon. Now, to me, I learned something from my grandfather, who was a banker, and I'll probably start sharing more and more about that from you guys, because it's one of the reasons I got into doing this. I come from a banking family and a real estate family. So he was a hero for me, and someone that I really didn't get to know that well, because he passed away when I was 15. Anyway, what I'll tell you that I did learn from him is a lot of times when you buy an asset, that is the point that you're going to make your money. And what I mean by that is, if you buy it too high, too expensive, you might be stuck in that asset and you might not be able to sell it. So the price that you pay for it and how you buy it can be one of the most important things that happens to you. So with gold, do not buy it because you think you need to hurry and buy it out of fear. Do not do that. Do it because it makes sense and it's the right time to buy, because you've done your homework and you understand that this is the right thing to do for you. So as far as the exit strategy goes, always plan that it's going to take a longer 3 to 5 years to do it. Now I'm my own bank, and I will do a video on that too, being your own bank, a little bit more detailed on that. So I don't like to keep cash in the bank more than 30 days worth of operating capital. I will keep cash in other secure places that are not my house, just so you guys know. Doing this channel, I do keep things in a vault far away from my house, and I can only access it a few times a year. Now, for you prepper stackers, that probably freak you guys out, but I need to, because of security and theft in the area where I live. So anyway, what I will tell you though is, being my own bank, there are times that I need to go and pull money out. There are times where I need to liquidate some of my metals. And so even though I don't have a lot of access, that many times a year, I do have the ability to go get things out. If I need to sell a gold coin because my refrigerator broke, or there's a medical emergency that goes on, I'm gonna sell it because I need that money then, all right? And so I'm trying to buy the best price I can so that when I go to sell, it doesn't affect me that much. But guys, sometimes you gotta sell things and take a little bit of loss, and it's okay. But what I can tell you is, one of the best times I've been able to buy in the last couple of years has been on Black Friday in 2021 and in 2022. I was able to pick up platinum as well as gold bars at spot price, okay? I was able to get 4 of those, 2 each, at spot price. And anyway, it was pretty cool. I have now sold all 4 of those because, being my own bank, I needed some money. But I bought those way lower than what I sold them for. So the other thing I'll tell you is, as you're buying, keep track of it. How much did you pay for it? What's the date you bought it on? And I recommend paying your taxes on this stuff. Yes, you have to pay capital gains, and you could end up with capital losses too, short-term and long-term. So for me, what ended up happening is I was able to sell these and take a gain, and then it also allowed me to sell some other silver that I took a loss on. And so at the end of the day, I still stayed positive. I didn't overly make too much money, but I also didn't lose anything. So I was my own bank. I got my money back out. It was pretty cool. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a couple tips here too. I like to try to give you 5 tips at the end of these videos as much as I can. So tip number 1, stick with the same coin for a while. Okay, what do I mean by that? I've decided that when I'm buying bullion, I like the Canadian Maple Leaf, the Gold Buffalo, and those are the 2 coins I really like. So that's what I'm stacking. I'm not really looking at a bunch of other coins. I'm not looking at the American Eagle right now. And why am I doing that? Because both those coins are 4/9 fine gold and 24 karat, and I just like them better. So for me, I'm sticking with them, which makes it easier for me to find the pricing, makes it easier for me to know, is it a good time to buy those coins or not. And just so you guys know, spot price as it goes up and down, which is the price, the paper price of the metal, there are going to be premiums that change. And the premium is going to be the price you can buy it from versus, minus the spot price. That's the premium. So when you're looking at the premium price, each coin is going to have a different version of that, okay? So I will continue to buy maples and I will continue to buy buffaloes as long as their premium isn't significantly higher or it's below, let's say, gold eagles. If that changes and all of a sudden the gold eagle is way cheaper, I might switch over to those. But I like the 24 karat stuff better. All right, tip number 2, all right? Tip number 2, pick where you want to buy from, okay? I think it's good to build rapport with an online bullion dealer, with other people that you have access to, like your local coin store. I think it's good to have 2 or 3 that you like and build rapport with them, okay? Some online bullion dealers have loyalty programs. Your local coin store is going to remember you. And the more you buy from them and the more business you give them, the more likely they are to purchase from you when you want to sell back at a more reasonable price. Okay, I've seen that happen for me. And I recommend that for you guys too. All right, number 3, get capsules for all these things, okay? If the gold doesn't come in assay, which is, the plastic around it, like this one here, this is a coin that's in assay. If you don't have that, get a capsule for it. Unless you have a tube and you have that you're putting your gold into. Protect it, especially the 24 karat stuff. I accidentally dropped a buffalo about 2 feet and the thing dented, hitting the floor. Not good. So now that is no longer a BU coin, and it's going to lose maybe $50, $100 off of it, which is not cool. So keep your coins safe and secure and protected. All right, number 4, boom. Don't go telling everybody you got gold, okay? Some people are sketch out there, guys. So be careful who you tell you've got gold to. Be careful who you tell about your gold, okay? Now, it's okay to share some of that information with your close friends and family, but I wouldn't disclose how much you have. I wouldn't disclose the times you're buying them. I wouldn't tell them where you're storing it, that stuff. Now, for your family that might inherit this, if you were to get hit by a bus walking outside today, you need to let them know where this is, okay? And you need to educate them and teach them on how to sell it and get rid of the stuff if they need the cash for it down the road. I need to do a little bit more of that with my family too. All right, tip number 5. You're learning. It's okay to make a mistake. Do not expect that you're going to be perfect. Do not expect that you're going to, you're going to maximize profits on everything and you're always going to be in the positive. There's going to be times where you buy a coin and you realize you're $200 down, and that is just not going to be very fun. And it happens, okay? So what goes down goes back up at some point, especially with metals. I do not see gold going down to $300 ever again. I don't see silver going down to $5 again, okay? There's just too many uses for the metals, and there's just too much inflation that's happened. I just don't see that ever happening. But could we see silver hit 17? Maybe 15. Could we see gold get down to $1,600 or $1,500? Maybe, but I don't see the conditions for it, okay? More likely what we're to see is we're more likely to see these metals get closer to 30 for silver and let's just say 21, 2,200 for gold. That's more likely what's going to happen coming into 2024. So now we got people out here wanting to watch the firemen over here wanting to watch the sunset. You guys see it? Well, you can't really see it. It's blowing out my camera. But there's a fire truck. So that's what I want to leave with you guys today. Hopefully that's helpful. And at the end of the day, I think you're doing the right thing. I think paper money, fiat money is really, it's on its way out. A lot of people are starting to wake up that it's not as valuable as we thought. Government's manipulating it, printing more money. Maybe I should say the Fed too. And you know, the reality is your gold and silver, they can only make so much of that stuff. You have to dig it out of the ground, and it's getting more expensive to do it with inflation. So there's a much higher probability that there's going to be less dug up in the future because it's just too dang expensive, unless the price goes up. And if the price goes up, we're all happy. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I am out. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming by. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe and the bell icon, and also a thumbs up. Stay happy. Don't fret, don't worry about things, guys. Prepare so you're not scared. And until next time, peace out.